Good morning, Earthlings. Aaron here, aka AJ, aka Papa. It is December 16th, 2019, and I am back with another vlog to feast your Vlogmas eyes and ears upon. How is you? Is you okay? Are you feeling good? Are you enjoying life? Do you feel peace within your spirit? Is goodness your chief motivation? I? Alright, love. Beest thou of good cheer? Does the goodness of the sun shine down upon your noble brow? We're simply dying to know how you're doing. How you living? What's good? Pip pip cheerio. Good tidings to you. Good morning, everyone. How are you today? I am well. Thank you for asking. I am a bookstore junkie all day today. From 11:30 to 7:30, I am at the bookstore today, and I'm excited to get my first full day in to get a really good idea of what the flow is like for the day. I've got coffee in tow already, and I am sitting outside the front of the bookstore per usual. I'm really early, and I thought I would spend this time to talk about a few things for Vlogmas. So yesterday in Bowling Green, we have on Scottsville Road an overpass that goes over Interstate 65, and yesterday a gentleman jumped off that overpass onto the interstate into oncoming traffic and was hit by a semi. And when things like that happen, it really, I think it should impact everyone. It doesn't always, but I know that it impacted a lot of people that were with me at the restaurant working. And for some of us, especially those of us that work there that are in the program, it was pretty obvious that that was probably either drug or alcohol induced. And so we understand that a lot of times when these crazy tragedies happen, that there is usually that dynamic of there being some sort of a substance involved, at least to the point where they probably had some sort of mental health issues. And a lot of times those mental health issues are exacerbated by drug and alcohol usage. I don't know why in this country it's such a huge taboo to talk about mental health and talk about, drug addiction and alcohol addiction, but it still is. I mean, it's like this country's dirty little secret that it is the number one killer of people right now. And I think that what happens is that instead of reacting with compassion towards addicts or people with mental health, we treat it as though it's a gross thing or something that nobody wants to talk about. And there's not a lot of help for people with these issues, or it's extremely expensive to find quality care for these issues. And so, we're just losing people right and left. It's such a sad dynamic, and almost everyone, you'd be really hard pressed to find somebody who's not touched by either severe mental health issues and or drug and alcohol abuse. With that being said, I guess my whole point of saying all of that is not to harp on the whole this country doesn't have enough of this or that or whatever, because that's not my point, because I got help and I had no means for that help. So those resources are there. They're just really hard to find. And I was very lucky that I had a support system who was willing to keep plugging away and trying to find them. But I guess the whole point of this is that, somebody died yesterday. A lot of people died yesterday, but somebody threw himself off the overpass onto an interstate, and the desperation was so great for that person that was their in their mind their only option. But with all of that being said, it really impressed upon me that we should really make sure that we're appreciating the people around us and expressing love and appreciation to those we care about, because we just never know what's going on in somebody's head, and we never know when their life will be over. I didn't mean to start the vlog out on such a heavy topic, but I think we need to talk about it more. And I think that this whole concept of, it being a dirty little secret that there's addictions everywhere and mental health issues everywhere. It just needs to stop. It needs to go away, this whole taboo. I'm so sick of losing people, and then when losing people to alcohol addiction or drug addiction or severe mental health issues or suicide, and then when you go to the funeral or when you find out that the person has died and you ask what happened, nobody will say anything about it. And I get that we don't want to talk ill about the dead or people who have passed, but it's important for people to know for closure, and also because we need to have an adequate and accurate idea of what's going on around us in the way of who we're losing to addiction and who we're losing to mental health, because I think that so often when we don't realize that those are the reasons why we're losing people, it doesn't seem like such an important and heavy thing that we need to address all the time. So, when you lose loved ones to these things, it's not that you want to shout it from the mountaintop, but when people ask, be forthcoming about it. It's important. It's important, guys. It's so important. Anyway, so that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay? So I was very excited. I don't know why this one hair is doing that. Anyway, I was very excited to find out that I can wear beanies to work. And, since I like to make them, this is the one that I made for Zachary. And, it was one that I just started making. And Zachary was like, ooh, I like that. So he ended up with it. But I'm wearing it today to work because it's cute. And one thing I really love about the bookstore is that they are really open to you expressing yourself in what you wear. You can have crazy hair if you want to. And so they're really about like you just being able to be an individual person, as opposed to like, here, wear this shirt. Everyone has to look the same. And don't get me wrong, uniforms definitely serve a purpose in certain situations because they differentiate you from the public. And so that's helpful. But I think, especially in the bookstore setting, it's much more exciting to have people who, seem like your peers talking about books and stuff. It's just a cool option. And I almost wish there was coffee in here too, but probably better that there isn't, because I would spend so much money on coffee, or I would end up being like all hopped up on caffeine and maybe not be the most exciting person to be around. I don't know. So yesterday, it took forever for me to get the vlog uploaded because after everything was all said and done and I had put everything together, it was 22 minutes long. And here's the crazy part is I don't feel like I did that much talking, but apparently I did. And that's really what happens when I get kind of going on the topic of laws of attraction or my belief system or things that are important to me. I can talk about it for a really long time. And especially in a situation where it could potentially help somebody, I will talk about it because I just feel so passionately about it. So anyway, it took me almost the bulk of my time at home before I went to bed trying to get it uploaded, because it would prepare and upload, but then it took so long to process after the fact. It took almost 2 hours to process after I had it uploaded. And I don't know if that's an anomaly. I've never had that happen before, but that was my second longest vlog I've ever uploaded. The first longest was my very first one that I did for when I was doing Start Solution, and that was for 3 days. So Papa got on a rant yesterday and talked for way too long. So what have y'all been listening to music-wise? I've been on a weird kick lately, and it's not new music. It's just I've been listening to a little bit of country lately, and it's not my normal genre of music. But growing up, I was definitely exposed to country music. My grandma on my mom's side listened to country music, and I also grew up in a Pentecostal church, and some of those like old hymnals had like a country vibe to them, and some of the songs that they would sing in like quartets or in small groups would have like a slight country vibe to them. So it's not completely off the reservation for me to be listening to country, but I don't like, well, I shouldn't say I don't know much about new country. So the country that's been released in maybe like the past 10 years or so, I don't know much about because I haven't really looked into it or listened to it. I've listened to a couple of Luke Bryan songs because he was so big it was almost impossible to not hear some stuff by him. And I listened to some stuff by Little Big Town, and I'm trying to think if there's any other artists that just jump out. But of course, you know, like Carrie Underwood, you hear stuff by her. But anyway, that's a digression. I have been listening to a little bit of country, and it all started because there's a song that I really like called "Starting With Me," and it's a country song about this guy who's looking back on all the things that he did that he's not proud of, and he's saying, if I had a dime for all the things I've done that didn't make no sense at all, I'd be living a little higher on the hog. And I just always loved that turn of phrase there. But I listened to that song a couple of times because it's really good. And because of that, YouTube threw a playlist up of country music. And so I was listening through that, and it was such a weird conglomeration of different artists that I've just been listening to country music. So, I don't know. It's been good. What are you guys listening to? Hey guys, how's it going? Home safe and sound after a nice, long, relaxing day at the bookstore. It was good. It was my first 8-hour day, and it was super simple and very, very relaxed and chill. And I love that. So, with that, I have so much leftover energy that I'm going to give you guys some beautiful food footage. And here we go.